Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the British Tier 10 Light Tank the Manticore. Now I think this is actually the first time this tank has featured on my channel, and for a light tank it's a pretty damn good scout. And that's because the camo on this tank is absolutely filthy. The one downside to this tank is, well, while the gun is actually pretty nice in terms of its accuracy for me, because the 1.9 second aim time, is really nice on this light tank. The accuracy at 0.38 is a bit iffy, but for the most part, because the aim time, well, because the gun aims in so quickly, it hits a lot of its shells for me. The one downside to this tank is how slow the reload is. The reload on the Manticore is horrifically slow. Its base reload is 14 seconds, which is horrendous. And you can get that down to a level that is meh. It's a way of saying it's worse than the Centauro's base reload for 400, and this gets 390, I believe, on its rounds. Which, yeah, sad times for the old Manticore. But it goes at 68 kilometers an hour. Like I say, its camo is absolutely dirty. Its view range at 400 is so-so for a tier 10, because, I mean, you know, you've got a fair few light tanks at tier 10 that are pushing that 410, 420. But like this and the 13105, for example, have less than that. But you can rack up a hell of a lot of assistance by spotting with it, and I feel like it's a fun tank to play for me. I think it's a really fun tank to play. It's probably got a fairly high skill cap to get the most out of it because of how bad the reload is, and you have to really take your opportunities to get spotting out and stuff like that. And yeah, things like this. This game is really chaotic at the start. As you can see, we've pushed this aggressive spot on Thiepval Ridge, which can yield you a lot of assistance if you've got people shooting. But what you're seeing in this game is what happens to me quite often, where teams just seem to see me and go, "Kill!" and then all rush in and die. So we've actually managed to get two heavy tank and most of it to have another heavy tank's hit points gone. And so far we've got 2.5k assistance with 1500 to make that 2k damage now, which is pretty damn good. But yeah, the Manticore is really good for positions like this, where you can keep popping up, spotting, and then occasionally getting the odd shot out here and there. And I think, actually, to be honest, the Manticore, with its long reload, probably gets you a little bit out of trouble every now and then, because while it's unhelpful for situations like against this Conqueror right here, it means that in those situations where you are popping up and down on a ridgeline, people can tend to forget about you, because you end up spending a bit longer than you would in your average light tank popping back up because of how long the reload is, right? So you spend less time in danger exposing yourself with it. It's the only real benefit to that long reload. Other than that, the reload is absolutely atrocious. So in terms of a crew on the old Manticore, I do run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Camouflage Expertise, Green Thumb, and Muffled Shot. I run Steady Aim and Run and Gun to make the gun 10% better and just better on the move, because that's what I want to do with my light tanks generally, so I can take those snappy shots. I run all those camo perks to make this camo even filthier. Now, Green Thumb is one of those perks. Does it work? Does it not? Who knows? I just take it for the placebo effect and hope it does work, and I can hopefully sit in my bushes and be absolutely filthy with my camo, because it improves your camo while in bushes by like 10% or something like that. Does it work or not? Who knows? I have no idea. But, like I say, I mean, I've had some, because of how filthy the camo is on this tank, right? I like to have it just for the idea in my head that it does work, and I can take up some really stealthily cheeky bush positions and stay unspotted. Because there's positions like on proc, like the big bushes on the ridge, that you can push their bush really aggressively and sit in it, and if you have all the camo perks and the camo net, etc., you can sit in it and basically not get spotted. I mean, that Tiger 2 didn't see us there shooting us, and you might go, well, he might not have the best view range being a heavy tank, right? He might not spec for it. He does have 400 base view range though, which means he's still got pretty damn good camo, and having the muffled shot and stuff like you see him shooting through this bush at him and stuff, we aren't getting spotted. That's how good the camo is on this tank. But yeah, I've also had positions like on steps where I've pushed into the middle of the field and just sat in a bush and farmed 7k spotting, just because I'm sitting there in a bush without them ever possibly spotting me. The only thing that spotted me was an EBR, who basically got within proxy range. that is just how filthy the camo is, and you can spec for it. I do run rammer, camo net, and optics as well. Optics, naturally, because as your light tank, you want to be spotting for yourself. The camo net to make the camo as filthy as humanly possible, and the rammer to make the reload just better, because the reload is absolute trash. Yeah, that's what I run on this tank. That's how I run it. Those are the reasons why I run it, pretty much, because you want to make the camo filthy and just abuse the ability to be an absolute filthy scout tank. And you can push your assistance, as we have in this game. I finished with the victory. We've come top on the team with 3 kills, 4.2k damage, 5.5k assistance, ace tanker, 1725 base XP. A really nice game for the old Manticore on Thiepval Ridge. Look at Swindle at the bottom. And yeah, a really great game for the Manticore. We managed to do what you want to be doing in Scouts, having that really good assistance game battle, but also getting a little bit of damage off yourself as well. And that's what we've managed to do. And getting an ace in this tank is very hard. You do have to get decent base XP scores for it, and getting those base XP scores in light tanks recently, it seemed really difficult. And I don't know whether it's to do with the fact that, well, just their change in spotting assist XP, right? Because I've got a game in the Vanguard, which is 10,000 spotting with about 2k damage in a tier 10 game, but the 2k damage was only against tier 8s, but I had 10k spotting on proc, and that was a second class, and I'm sitting there going, you what, mate? And that's just, I think it's because they did change the XP behind spotting, and I can't quite remember what it was that they changed. It was something like, you used to basically get 50% of the XP or something along those lines for spotting tanks. So if someone shot it, they only got 50% of XP and you got the other half, or something along those lines. Don't quote me, I can't quite remember, but it was something along those lines, and then they changed it to basically whoever the person is shooting gets the full XP. I think. But something along those lines, and I think that's possibly making it harder to get the ace tankers in Scouts, especially for games where you have massive assistance damage, but not much damage. But the Manticore is also a tank that is exceptionally hard to 3-mark as well, because a lot of good players play it. Like I say, it's got that sort of high skill cap nature about it, where to get the most out of it, you have to play it pretty sweatily to get the most out of it, get those big games, and do that consistently. Because there are some games where this reload is so long, and obviously you're relying on people's assistance damage, which, let's be real, sometimes teams don't help, and you don't get any assistance whatsoever, and then having such a long reload means you struggle to get the damage out for yourself. But so far in this game, we've managed to get 1400 damage with a bit of assistance. The artillery naturally went for the light tank, because with everyone else spotted, who cares about them? Just go for the light tank. We're just trying to get... Well, we're waiting for the reload to go in, and we're going to try and get a shot into this Leopard, because there's 2 tanks left on this flank currently that we know of, except for the heavy tank at F3. In fact, there's 2 tanks here in front of us, the Leopard and the T-54, is it? That's in front of us on the right. T-54. And we want to get rid of these guys so that we can progress our fight on this flank. We do a YOLO past the T-54, get a pen into him, and again, he's not bothered about everyone else. He's coming straight for us. We get a nice shot into his side there, which damages his ammo rack, and he gets finished off. We're up to 2.5k damage. Lost that little bit of health there with that guy, but we realise that our cap is in major trouble. And that's the reason, really, we wanted to go in on those guys along in front of us, because that's where sometimes teams get a little bit stuck, and they will just get stuck and basically stop. And we wanted to basically move them on, get them moving, get them progressing, so that we could go deal with the threat that was behind us. Unfortunately, the shot there on the enemy Manticore doesn't pen the Manti, but it does track him. We're just trying to finish it off. The worst aiming you've ever seen, and we end up missing him there again. And I was getting focused a little bit too much in that position, so I decided, you know what, we're going to use the scout tank ability, and that is mobility. The scout tank's big ability to move is what we're going to abuse, and that is reposition ourselves. Now we're unspotted, we're going to try and get into a flanking position to get shots at this VZ55 and try and get rid of the light tank that was spotted over here too. Because what I want to try and do is get to about J0, because I feel like if I get to J0, I'm going to be able to shoot at this VZ55 without ever getting spotted. As you can see, he ends up getting to the point where he was a one-shot, so I try and take the shot to finish off that VZ, but unfortunately I don't get the shot in to finish him off. But we do get all the assistance damage because we were spotting him, which is nice. Again, we're just trying to flank round to see if we can spot the things that were attacking our base, and thus get free damage on them, spot them up for our medium tanks that are along the K line at this moment in time. And there we go. We end up spotting the Sturm Tigers. Swivel round so that we've got our back to him so that if he does spot us, we can run away. Oh, a nice little pixel shot into the side of the Sturm Tiger there. He doesn't actually see us, like I say, which is why I wanted to get to this sort of position over here, get this distance, and we get a nice bit of assistance again from our artillery, and then the AVRE finishes him off, which is perfect, exactly how we wanted it to go. There's still there 2 artillery, there's a tank destroyer somewhere, the 2 light tanks, which one is spotted currently at F2, and a medium tank somewhere, a Leopard 1 I think it is, knocking about. So we've just got to go try and find them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on top of this little hill here and try and spot over the top of it and see if we can find anything. It's like, oh God, there's Artie. What the hell are you doing here, sir? I did not expect that whatsoever. I was expecting to find a leopard or something like that. And in fact, I found their artillery. And now we're in a little bit of an awkward engagement. You can see I'm just a bit like panicked going, oh, good gravy. And he ends up going round us. He does have a turret, but it's going to struggle to get his gun on target as much. We fire the HE round into the back of him and set him on fire and shut him down, which is nice. We get the Tier 10 artillery out of the game. He just caught me out off guard completely. Like, so I was expecting to maybe find the medium tank maybe sitting on that hill. Not the artillery, though. That was just unexpected. We're trying to get the shot on the Waffelpanzer IV, but there is a problem with the Manticore, like most of the oscillating turreted tanks, and that is that it's not got very much gun elevation, so we lost it a bit, so we had to pull back. We now go in on the Leopard 1, we get a shot into that Leopard 1, which puts him down to a one-shot, and then it's like, okay, we can shut him down now, we've got all the hit points in the world. This is now awkward. He low rolls, or no, he doesn't roll high enough, I should say. And we shut him down. I didn't anticipate taking a hit from the Waffelpanzer IV there. I thought the Waffelpanzer IV would actually run away and stay hidden because there was me and the AVRE. But he poked back up and over the hill to get a shot into us. And that made it a really awkward fight. We cocked up with trying to pleb aim it. And yeah, we managed to get the nice snapshot into... I don't know what that Waffle... I think that Waffelpanzer IV must have given up. Because I don't know what he was thinking of there. As he came out, again, I did not expect it, but we managed to snap the shot nicely into his tracks, which pinned him in place. The AVRE finished him off. We get a we try and get the HE round to pen the batch at 155.55, but unfortunately, it must have hit the gun. It only did like that 100 damage. But we did finish with the victory. 3 kills, 5.7k damage, 3.6k assistance. Ace Tanker, the Confederate, the High Caliber, 1766 base XP. A really nice game for the Manticore. A really solid scout tank. Its big downside is the fact that its reload is complete garbage. But apart from that, I do enjoy this tank. I think it's a solid light tank, really. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
You're good.